All right, so today, if you have two balls, and I'm going to use this, it's like a net. So if you have a sock or something, and if not, one ball, you can still try it with one ball and it'll be fine. We'll also use a block. So if you have something like a block, get that. A blanket, you could use a blanket instead of a block for what we're gonna do, or like some sort of book with a blanket over it maybe. So, we just do our best with what we have. And then we're gonna finish with a restorative pose where you could use like 3 blankets or a couch cushion. This is a bolster. Couch cushions seem to work pretty well too because they're kind of hard like this. But again, you just use what you have and you do your best. But we're gonna start seated. So from here, sitting nice and tall. And since this is a more gentle class, you're welcome to do this part on your back. And just take these first few moments to check in with your breath. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Long breath out. Relax your jaw, your face. Let the shoulders settle onto the back of the heart. And bring your attention to your pelvic floor. And you'll inhale up the back side of the body, all the way up between the shoulder blades, the back of the neck, the back of the skull. The exhale pours down the front of the body, down the forehead, the eyebrows, down the face, through the heart and the belly, all the way back down to the pelvic floor. And then just kind of like a loop, scooping through the pelvic floor. Inhale up the back side of the body. Exhale down the front of the body. Inhaling up the back side of the body. And I like to imagine like a blow dryer blowing up the back. Exhale down the front of the body. Relax your face and shoulders. Inhale up the back side of the body. Exhale through the brow, through the face, all the way down, back to the pelvic floor. Take a few more cycles of this sort of circular breath, inhaling up the back. Exhaling down the front. And try to let the inhale and exhale be the same length. Keep going. The same quality, same effort. And the next time you breathe in, bring your hands together in front of your heart. And just take a moment to notice the effects of that short breath work. Notice if there's any sensation or quality of your breath might be different, or the quality of your thoughts. And take this time to set an intention for your practice, to make an offering or a prayer. And I'm going to offer the metta phrases. Metta means loving kindness. May I be happy and peaceful. May I be healthy and strong. May I be safe and protected. May I be loved and live with ease. We'll start this morning chanting one Om together. Spread your arms, reach them up to the sky. Take a deep breath in. And then Oming on your exhale, hands to the heart. And bow your head to your heart. And release your hands. Beautiful. All right. So we're going to start hands and knees. If you like the blanket under your knees, put a little cushion there. And just getting into some movement, sort of intuitive. Spread the fingers, big hip circles. Maybe do some cat and cow. Just whatever your body needs to wake up. Maybe it's more of a spiral in your ribs or a zigzag. I really want you to start to learn to kind of listen to what your body needs, not necessarily what your brain wants you to do, but just what your body wants. And one way to do that is kind of closing your eyes and just checking in with your breath, and you can keep playing with that same breath work, inhaling up the back side of the body, exhaling down the front of the body, and just see where your body wants to go. Then we'll do our kneeling sun salutation. So inhale, stretch the arms up to the sky, reach the arms up. You'll do a little side bend here, grab one wrist, pull it to the side as you exhale. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, bowing in, cat. Round your back, push the floor away. Inhale, open your heart, just nice and gentle, cow. And then hips to the heels, come all the way back, child's pose as you exhale. Let your forehead land, empty your breath completely. And then we'll go two more with a little variation. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, twist, one arm in front, one arm behind. Just easy, inhaling back to center, take your time. Exhale, twist, other side. Inhale, back to center, stretching up. Exhale, bowing in, around your back. Inhale, open your heart. Feel the skin on your heart lift so gently and sweetly. Exhale, child's pose. Once again, let your forehead land and empty all the air out. One more. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Lift the hips up. This time, interlace fingers at the low back. Hook your thumbs. Open your heart on your in-breath. Exhale, let the arms go. Stretch them up again. Inhale. Exhale, bowing in, hands and knees. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, child's pose, and stay there. Just take an extra breath there, breathing into the back side of the body. Exhale down the front of the body. And then start to have just a little movement with the forehead side to side. So like you're giving your forehead and the eyebrows a massage. So a little rock side to side. You could also let your belly kind of sway side to side. And you do want your head to be on the floor, or if your head doesn't quite reach the floor, the block is good. So try to use this like a skull massage, like a brain massage. And then eventually you'll start to lift the hips and come more onto the top of the head. So being really gentle, but you can kind of play with it, like maybe push your head down a little bit and have just a little bit of traction where it kind of pulls your skin really gently. If you like a little more padding, you can put the blanket under your head. But play with this sort of brain massage, I like to call it, but it's really like the skull and the skin on your brain, on your head. I like to have the hands here, so there's a little support in the hands. You're not putting a whole bunch of weight on the head. And even play with going to the side a little bit. So really trying to explore. And when you feel like you've had enough, just come back to child's pose and pause and feel. And then we'll use the balls and the block. So if you don't have a block, a book, maybe a book or two with the blanket for a little cushion, or you can kind of just roll your blanket up into a ball so it's like as high as a block. I'll show you a couple ways to play with this. So we're getting into kind of the skull and the face a little bit with the ball. So I always feel like it's a little bit awkward at first, but you can see how it goes for you. So coming onto your back, we'll start with just the block. It goes under your head. And my neck is not on the block. The block is kind of right at the base of the skull, like the knobs right here, and holding my head. You don't want to be massaging the neck with the block. So you might like it, I like it low. And if the block is not comfortable, use the blanket there under your head. That's fine too. So you just kind of start here and feel. It's like a little bit of a stretch for the neck. Keep the eyes looking up to start. Or just your head facing forward. You can close your eyes. Try to relax the shoulders. Let them settle. And then to play with this, roll your head all the way to the left, and you'll kind of feel that knob on your skull. And you could stay here just looking to the left. It's kind of this stretch for the neck. But you can also use the block to kind of massage that knob. So you can roll, go so gently, like a little bit, do a little roll here, side to side. You might find a spot that kind of feels good to stay. Stay there and breathe. Long exhale. And then eventually coming back to center and turning your head all the way to the right. And if you want to have that little bit of a roll, just kind of staying on that knob, a little roll. And you're welcome to still work with that. I'm going to show you, it's basically the same idea, but you take the balls under, so you can leave the block there and you add the balls in the net. It's fine to try it with one ball. I did try it with one ball to see how it goes, but it is just a little better with the two. So this might feel too high, and you can take the block out, bring a blanket there, so it's just a little bit of an elevation. Again, it's not on the neck, it's like more on the base of the skull. And so I tend to kind of scrunch my shoulders up, so my work is to let the shoulders be heavy. Try not to have a lot of effort. Long exhales. So when you've got the balls there, you can kind of do this little bit of a rock or a jiggle. So I'm kind of moving my feet. And it just does this little bit of a roll. Be so gentle around your neck and your skull. You could also do the same thing where you turn and roll onto more of the knob. Just feel free to explore a little bit. Trying not to, you don't want to go on the spine, on the cervical spine. Stay away from that. Try to stay more on the skull and the muscles, like right next to your neck. If you do happen to go down there, don't go right in the middle of the spine. So you can do a little roll side to side. You can also, if you have the balls, kind of let them roll up. Your skull's a little hard and awkward, but it's a little bit more of an all the way up and an all the way down, rather than this rock. And when you feel like you've had enough of that, move the block out of the way, move this ball out of the way, and just come back onto your back in neutral. So we want to kind of let our ligaments settle back into neutral, and just take a moment to pause and feel. And then roll to your side. We're going to still use the block here or your blanket. And now you don't need the net anymore, so just one ball is going to work. So let's start this way. So you'll put the ball, it's for your jaw and your face. So you kind of can like start with a pillow, make a pillow with your hand, but you'll be really gentle and start to roll like on your jaw. This arm can also come straight out. I actually prefer it this way. If you find this is too intense, do it with your hand sitting. So you're just using the pressure of your hand. So you start, you can really go anywhere on your face. I would stay away from the temple, but anywhere on your cheek, like right under like the cheekbone. If you want to play with the jaw and the pinning, so you pin the ball, you hold, and then you play with really slowly opening your mouth and closing your mouth. So we kind of worked our way all the way up the body, and each week I showed you rolling and then pinning. So when you pin, you hold the ball, but you move other parts of the body. And it just kind of changes the sensation. So when you feel ready, switch sides, get into the other side. Before you go right into the second side, pause and feel the difference on the right and left. Big difference in my face. So I always like to start with a little more of the roll. It kind of warms up the fascia, gets it warmed up, and then I like to do the pin where you hold, because that for me is just a little bit more intense. So kind of like this meaty part of the jaw is a really good place to kind of play with and get into. And when you've had enough with that, I will have you, you could stay here on your side if you want and just kind of play with getting like more all over the face with your hand. I really like kind of right under the eye, like the cheekbone into the nose. You could also sit and do this. And, on your skull, like just another way to kind of stimulate the skull and the skin around the brain, like we did in our child's pose earlier. It's just another way to play with that. So like getting into the hairline, around the eyebrows. Again, staying on your side is totally fine, or sitting up. Staying away from the throat with these hard balls. A few weeks ago, I didn't bring it up, but there's these softer balls where if you did want to get into the throat and the belly, you would use these softer balls. You want to stay away from the throat, this bones on the spine. Most of the other bones in the body are fine. And again, don't put a lot of pressure on the temple. Maybe you roll very slowly over it. I've just kind of been avoiding it. But eyebrows, you kind of just explore, and your body knows what you want. It knows what you need. You can get a little bit like under the jaw, just not on the throat. So part of ball rolling is kind of just learning to like how to so sweetly, touch your body. Not everybody's used to touching our body or even knows like what we're touching. So it's a little bit of that, like just getting in tune with giving your body some love. And just whenever you're ready, pause. Maybe feel any tingling, vibration. You just moved a lot of energy. You lubricated the fascia in your face, so that's just the connective tissue. So we have these lines of connective tissue that start at our feet and go all the way up through the top of the head and the eyebrows. So working just the face, see if you can feel it in any other parts of the body. It's just always, to me, so interesting to experience that. And then I want to show you one more, just while sitting. It's for your hands. So you can just take the ball and massage your hands. What you want to play with is this kind of meaty part of your hand. But really you can get all over. In the fingers, the back of the hand. But again, kind of in that meaty part between your thumb. Like I'm even pushing on my hand so I can get a little more. You can get in the wrists a little bit. So really good if you're using your hands a lot. Computers, like just texting and swiping your phone. Like my thumb gets so tight. So this is good for that. And then just always pausing and noticing. Maybe like flex your hands, do a little movement, like a mobility check. Just feel a difference in mobility in the wrists. And then do the other side. Get in the fingers a little bit, meaty part of the thumb. Back of the hand. Back of the hand on the thumb side. You can kind of treat it like the foot. So if you remember from the first week we did the foot, we did like the bowling lane, so you can kind of go down each bone, each finger. Maybe you find a spot you want to hold a little bit long. Exhale, breathe. And then again, I always like to do just a little compare and pause and feel. So we're going to get into our restorative pose. You'll need your bolster or like 2 or 3 blankets. So I'll show you what it looks like with the blankets. Open your blanket and tri-fold it, so like an accordion. And then I would at least do 1 more, but you might like 2 more. And try to be like really intentional about, you know, making the folds nice and even so that when you get there, it's not lumpy. And if you have blankets with the fringe, put all the fringe on one side and all the nice edge on one side. And then another thing you can do is either have it all lined up or have it a little bit staggered. So we're doing Supta Baddha Konasana, supported, so butterfly. If I use blankets, I like to do more of this staggered little step. And I like to fold it under a little bit so I get a little more elevation. But you are gonna just kind of get there and then you'll try it and see if you like it, and you might change it, and that's okay. So we're going like this, but the bum is on the floor and you're laying back. So once I get here is when I like to tuck it under. I give myself like a little bit of a pillow. Feet together, knees apart. Get something for under your legs. So you can have another blanket or your blocks or couch pillows. You want to have your legs supported, not just hanging. So if you have 1 blanket, this is what I like to do. It goes over the feet, under the legs. Like that. If you have your bolster, which, you know, I only got a bolster this year, but it's way different than the blanket. So if you know, find that you're ready to invest in a bolster, it's recommended. And I like to do block under the bolster to give me a little bit of height, but on the floor is fine. So if you have your bolster, it would look like this. So make sure you're very comfortable. We're going to be here for about 5 minutes. A blanket over your body, more for weight rather than warmth, can be nice. Something over your eyes can be nice as well. So we just worked the face with the ball rolling, and that is really down regulating. It's very calming for the nervous system. It's a great thing to do before bed, like if you have trouble sleeping. So we're finishing with this. This is actually a back bend that you're in. So you're opening your chest, and it's a little more invigorating and uplifting. Since it is the morning, I don't want to like put you guys to sleep. This back bend, even though it's restorative and super supportive and gentle, it is invigorating for the nervous system. So take a couple breaths. Nice deep breath in. Long breath out. And if you feel like you need more, just bring yourself more. Don't feel like you need to suffer in uncomfort. Like, let yourself be supported. Really offer yourself this sweet love and stability and support for your nervous system. Let your eyes be heavy in their sockets. Relax the muscles around the jaw and the cheeks. If you feel like you need your legs to be straight or bent and you don't want them apart, that's fine. Change the legs as needed. Resting in stillness. And bringing your attention to the pelvic floor, inhaling up the whole back side of the body. Exhale, circling down the top of the crown, down the front of the body. Take another breath like that, inhaling into the back side of the body. Exhale down the front of the body. And just return to normal breathing. And bring your attention back to your breath. And one leg at a time, bring your knee back to center and your feet on the ground. And slowly stretch the legs long and reach your arms overhead. Take a stretch. Maybe point and flex and wiggle out the wrists and the ankles. And bend the knees and just a really slow, not very big, kind of windshield wiper the knees side to side. I like to let my head roll side to side too. And then roll onto your side and stay there for a breath or two. Just a nice long inhale. Long exhale. And just with so much care and attention to what your body needs, go really slow to come back to seated. And sitting tall, just taking that kind of moment to check in and notice sensation, notice the effects of that restorative pose. It's a little bit of a back bend, heart opening. Just maybe check in where you feel sensation in the body, and there's no right or wrong. Just trying to tune in. And we'll get into Shavasana from here. So any way that's comfortable for you. Any last little wiggles that your body needs. So lately, I really enjoy blanket over the body for weight. So you kind of fold it like that. So I'm doing bolster under my knees. You can do a blanket. And it would kind of go across like your soft bits. So your belly, your pelvis. And if you want even more weight, you can do another one across kind of the hips. That's where it feels good to me to have like weight. If you need just a little bit of softness under your head, you can pull a blanket under your head. Blanket over the feet if your feet are cold. So just really take the extra effort to get super cozy and sweet and supported. Try to relax your belly as you breathe. Any little wiggles, let your bones settle. Relax your fingers, relax your toes. Letting go into Shavasana. gentle breath into the belly, the lungs, and the heart. As you exhale, gently bring movement back to the body. Wiggle fingers and toes. Reach your arms overhead. Take a lazy stretch. Bend your knees, rest on your side. And come to seated as you're ready, sitting tall. Bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. You honor your efforts for showing up today. It is not always easy. May we all be happy and peaceful. May all beings be healthy and strong. May all beings be safe and protected. May all beings live with love and ease. And may all beings benefit from your yoga practice. Bring your hands to your heart. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.